And now some more people are coming out of the entrone. We see the captains now with their assistants. Remember, nobody in Siena works alone. Really, nobody works alone. So we just see the captains of the contradas coming out now, and they are each assisted by two official assistants coming out now. We call the captain and the lieutenants, or the lieutenants, if you will, who help the captain with the strategies of the Palio. So now all the captains are coming across. They're saying hello to the children of their respective contradas. You can see the lupa, then the bruco, the red, white, and blue of the pantera right there, and next to them Leocorno. There we go. You can see the orange of the Leocorno, I beg your pardon, the pink of the Val di Montone, that is waving their fazzoletti to their captain. It really is a wonderful sight. Next to them you see the civetta, and then the blue of the nicchio. So everyone's saying hello to their captains, wishing them luck. There's a nice shot of the nicchiaioli, of the young members of the contrada of the nicchio, the shell. Again, the captains are making the long walk, as it were, around the track that is made of tufo. Tufo is actually a misnomer, because tufo in English would be tough, but tuff is a volcanic stone, as a geologist friend of mine informed me. And so really what the track is, it's not volcanic stone, rather it is local sandstone. And the tuff is laid down a few days before the night trials, where about 50 or 60 horses are presented, and the veterinarians and the jockeys and of course the captains of the contrada watch the horses very carefully to see which will be selected for the next very important day of the 13th of August, the assignment of the horses. So from about 50 or 60 horses we went down to 35, and on the morning of the 13th of August we had 35 horses presented, and then we ran a series of batterie, or heats. And out of those 35 horses, the final 10 were chosen by the captains, always on the day of the 13th. And then that afternoon at 1 o'clock, the 10 final horses were assigned by lot to the contrade. When you see the drum and you see the white flag, that means that the cannon is about to go off, the mortaretto. There we go. Everyone covering their ears, because no matter how used you are to that sound, it always does make your heart skip a beat. Coming out now, you see Leocorno, followed by Lupa, Tartuga, Drago, Pantera, Civetta, Val di Montone in the pink, Bruco and Nicchio in blue, and finally Giraffa. Following the horses are all of these men in little caps. They are known as the barbareschi. The barbaresco is the head groomsman, quote unquote, but the main job of the barbaresco is to make sure that the horse is taken care of 24/7, prepared for the trial races, washed and cooled down after the trial races, and of course fed and watered, and given a few loving caresses as well. There's a wonderful relationship that is born between the barbaresco and the horse. The horse is never alone. The barbaresco sleeps in the stable of the contrada with the horse. Oh, there goes Giraffa around the casato, and the horses are now lining up, getting ready to line up in between the canopy. The canopy are the two ropes that constitute the starting line. Everything in the Palio is down to destiny, and the way that the horses are lined up for this sixth and final trial race is the reverse of last night's prova generale. You'll recall that last night the horses were lined up in order of their ear number. Those 10 horses that were chosen out of the 35 were given a number on their ear, 1 to 10, and the order in which they were extracted is the order they lined up last night. This morning it is the opposite order. So last night Lupa was in position number 1. Now Lupa is in position number 10, the Rincorsa. Last night Civetta was in Rincorsa, number 10. And today, this morning, Civetta will leave from position number 1. Remember, it doesn't matter who wins these trial races. This is a chance, especially for the jockeys, to see how the horses behave at the mossa, in between the canopy, and how they might react to various lineups. So right now the horses are having a little bit of a warm-up here. You can see the jockeys talking to each other, Pantera and Giraffa next to each other. These jockeys, of course, know each other as well for years and years. These jockeys have been running in the Palio race. All of these are experienced jockeys. You see a nice view of Carburo there for Civetta. Running on the horse Tabacco. There's Tartuga with TT Titia. Titia is really one of the top jockeys in the field, and he's riding a debut horse who has shown great potential. In fact, many people are saying that Tartuca has a great chance of winning. There's a view of Giraffa in the red and white, and Pantera red, white and blue, with Jonathan Bartoletti riding his own horse, Rexy. He has been training this horse. He knows this horse incredibly well. Another group, a jockey and horse who know each other very well, is Giraffa, with Queen Winner, the horse, and Tremendo, the terrible, riding him. Tremendo also trains the horse Queen Winner. There you can see Val di Montone talking with Giraffa. For Val di Montone, we have another debut horse, Schietta, one of the two female horses, because the other horses are castrated males. Schietta being ridden by Amsicora. Amsicora is a Sardinian warrior from the 3rd century BC, and a good name for a Sardinian jockey, I think you'll agree. Okay, so again, a little bit of a wait here as the horses walk around the track. You can see quite a few people in the piazza, but certainly not as many as last night, because last night we saw the Carica dei Carabinieri, the charge of the Carabinieri, the military police, wearing a 19th century uniform, and they did a wonderful lap around the piazza, and then the captain raised his sword and they ran nearly a full lap around the Piazza del Campo with their swords raised. Quite a spectacle indeed. Coming in between the canopy now, you can see that the jockeys are bringing their horses in. The Mossiere is calling them by name, not the jockey's name, but the name of the contrada. So he's calling Nicchio, come and enter. The next horse to come in will be Leocorno, come and enter. And you see that the jockeys are lined up in between two ropes, again called the canopy. The number 10 horse is known as the Rincorsa, and when the 10th horse approaches that back rope, the Mossiere is in charge of dropping the front rope. Now, in the event of what we call forcing the mossa, if the horses are in danger of tripping over the rope, or if there's a lot of stress, the mossiere might drop the rope and have the horses just do one lap around and then line up all over again. The start is hugely important because, of course, the start of any race is important, but especially in the Palio because it really could be make or break for the contrada. So now we have all of the horses in between the ropes, and you can see Lupa behind there in the rincorsa position, getting ready to approach that back rope so that the front rope will drop and they will all run up. Nope, there's a false start. So just as I was mentioning before, sometimes the horses will force the mossiere to lower the rope because, as you saw, I think quite clearly, some of the horses' chests were right up against the rope, and so for safety reasons we don't want any horses to get injured, and we don't want any jockeys to fall off either. So the mossiere dropped the rope, the cannon fired to signal a false start, and now they're just having a little trot around the Piazza del Campo. But again, having the horses move a bit more is probably quite nice because they weren't able to get on the track on the day of the 14th. Remember, we have trial races the evening of the 13th after the assignment of the horses, 2 on the 14th, 2 on the 15th, and this one this morning. There you can see the mossa. There we go. Montone had to force the rope to drop because perhaps the horse was just a bit skittish, but no problem. These jockeys are hugely professional and know how to handle their horses. And the mossiere, of course, Fabio Magni, has been in the piazza many times, and so it is his duty to make sure that the mossa is valid, or if not, he must ensure that the horses are safe. Remember, the horse is the protagonist of the Palio race. It is not the jockey who wins. If the jockey falls off somewhere along the way, we hope that he's okay, but it is the horse that wins. And in fact, to win scosso, to win without a rider, might even be a purer and more an even more emotional victory, because the horse, of course, is not guided by money. We say that the horse might be guided by the Virgin Mary herself, the protectress of Siena. The jockeys, on the other hand, are mercenary soldiers, and as you know, those of you who studied your medieval history, in medieval warfare, a mercenary soldier was hired, someone who was a foreign person, to lead an army to victory. And of course, the mercenary soldier's loyalties only lie to his wallet, and that is the same today. In fact, we don't know exactly where all the jockeys' loyalties lie, but we hope they are with the contrada, whose colors they are wearing right now. Beautiful shot there of the horses. Again, these beasts are slightly they're smaller, perhaps, than some horses you're used to seeing. And the jockeys are slightly bigger than you're used to seeing. These guys range in height from 5'7", 5'9". They are pure muscle and sinew, and they have to be because they are riding bareback. This is the tradition, to ride bareback. This goes back actually millennia, and to have that relationship between the horse and rider is hugely important. The jockey feels the horse underneath him, and the horse also feels the jockey above. And so even though there are small reins there, it is really the jockey who guides the horse with his body and his small movements. All the horses are lined up again in between the two canapi. They are looking back at the number 10 horse right now, the Rincorsa, which in this case happens to be Lupa. Lupa is turning around right now, and when he approaches the back rope, the front rope will drop, and the jockeys will run 3 laps around the Piazza del Campo. Oh, okay, another false start. So again, you saw that we'll see the replay in a moment, but it looked like Giraffa, perhaps Montone as well, forced the Mossiere to drop the rope. And again, this is not uncommon, and this is actually good practice for you this evening, because tonight there will be far, far, far more people in the piazza. You can see it's quite empty now, and tensions will be, I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that tensions will be about 6 million times stronger. Yes, I think that's accurate. Nice view here of Giraffa coming around. There we go. Let's have a look at the Mossa. You can see that the horses are lining up, and then, yep, it was Giraffa that went a bit early, and so the Mossiere, Fabio Magni, had to make the rope drop to ensure that no horses were injured. This is a great shot here. I love the Torre del Mangia casts a shadow on the Piazza del Campo, and people always stand in that shadow. Here's a nice view of Mari, detto Brio, vivacious, this jockey is called, running for the Drago on a horse called Pathos. Pathos actually ran for the Drago in 2016 to not the greatest finish, shall we say. Second place, not good, but now the Drago has a chance to not only win this Palio but have a cappotto. Cappotto means overcoat, but in Palio language it means that they win both the July and August Palio races. Drago won in July, and they have a chance to win again now. You can see Lupa and Tartuca having a little conversation there. Tartuca, Rodrigo Baio, a really interesting horse making his debut, ridden by an expert jockey. There is Carburo for the Civetta. The Civetta has a rival in the Piazza, so tonight's lineup is hugely important. Remember, right now they're lining up in the order of the number that the horses had on their ear, 1 through 10, but now they're lining up 10 to 1. Tonight, however, the order between the canapi will be determined by lot, and this is hugely important. Again, fate plays an integral role in this festival. Now, if you saw just before, we were broadcasting live from the Mass for the jockeys, because again, the Palio is a mix of the sacred and the profane. The Archbishop Buoncristiani, you'll recall, refused to bless the Palio banner. Why? He said that the Madonna, the Virgin Mary, was not represented. Oh dear, here's another false start. Another false start. The horses seem to be a little bit agitated this morning, but again, because they haven't had the chance to practice, those extra 2 trial races they missed were crucial. We have 5 debut horses here, so even though they've practiced on tracks that were similar to this, being in the Piazza del Campo, being with the other horses, being with these jockeys, is a new experience for 5 of these horses. The only horse that has won before is Porto Alabe, running for Lupa, but as you have seen, Porto Alabe and Lupa are the Rincorsa, so a little bit less stressful, shall we say, for the horse to be outside and not with the other 8 inside the ropes. Anyway, let's have another look at that. There we go. Tartuca went a bit close there. And you can see that immediately the cannon went off, even before the first rope was dropped. It looks like Tartuca kind of forced the rope to drop, and Giraffa again for the second time forcing the Mossa. returning to the conversation before, so the Archbishop Buon Cristiani, which means good Christian, which is a good name, I think, for an archbishop, he refused to bless the Palio banner because he said that the representation by Charles Simkevich of the Virgin Mary was not reverent enough. It was not made with enough religiosity, shall we say, and so he refused to bless it. However, this is not the first time it has happened, and the Sienese, perhaps, as our friend Antonio said, it doesn't really matter that much. All that matters is winning the Palio. However, the Archbishop, of course, agreed to have the traditional Mass for the jockeys this morning in the Piazza del Campo at the chapel that was built in 1348 in thanks to the Virgin Mary after that horrible plague, the Black Plague or bubonic plague of 1348. He gave a Mass emphasizing the Christian roots of Siena and the mix between the importance of the Virgin Mary to the city of Siena. And if you heard the chorus, it was a wonderful song that the Sienese sing, and they say, "O Maria, la tua Siena difendi." O Maria, defend your Siena, because the city of Siena is dedicated to the Virgin Mary, and both Palio races of the 2nd of July and today, the 16th of August, are dedicated to the Virgin Mary. Today in particular dedicated to the Virgin Mary assumed in heaven. The 15th of August is the Assumption of the Virgin, and in Siena on the 16th we run a Palio in her honor. Okay, the horse is now lining up again between the canopy. We've had 3 false starts now, so let's see if this 4th time is the charm. So then we have Tartuga has just taken its place in between the starting ropes, and Lupa is circling behind in the rincorsa position. When Lupa passes or approaches the back rope, the front rope will drop, unless, of course, the Mossiere feels that he has to drop the rope for the safety of the horses. Right now they're lined up quite well, and the Mossa is valid. Excellent. Okay, a pretty clean start there with Civetta taking off in the lead there, followed by Giraffa, Leocorno and Drago. So Giraffa coming round there on Queen Winner, a horse that is the same bloodline of Preziosa Penelope, who won both Palio races in 2016. There we are around the first San Martino. The horses are going quite slowly because the jockeys really just want to give the horses a taste for the Tufo this morning. They don't want to do anything too drastic, because remember, you cannot change your horse. If something happens to your horse, if it's injured, you do not run the Palio. So the Giraffa coming round now, followed by Drago, and then you can see Nicchio just behind. So they're going very, very slowly. I can assure you that they will be going much faster for the Palio race. And indeed, for the Palio race, the jockeys will also be given whips to encourage their horses to go a bit faster, or perhaps to antagonize the other jockeys and horses. So here we have Giraffa, Nicchio and Drago. Nicchio just coming around San Martino curve, that treacherous curve that takes out many jockeys on the actual Palio. There is Trecciolino on Solo Due, and Trecciolino really has something to prove here. He's the oldest jockey. He's also the most decorated jockey in the piazza today, with 13 Palio victories, second only to Aceto, who has 14, the most in Palio history. So here comes Nicchio coming around the corner, followed by Giraffa. No problem. Please pass by. Here comes Nicchio again. This is the 3rd lap. Nicchio going very, very slowly, followed by Giraffa on Queen Winner. You'll see not a lot of people in the piazza, but a lot of people are just trying to rest up, because this is the longest day of the year. The day of the Palio is the longest. So as Nicchio and Giraffa come around the 3rd San Martino curve, the trial race, the 6th trial race, but really only the 4th that we have been able to see due to inclement weather, is about to finish as Nicchio and Giraffa come around the Casato curve. Giraffa just edging ahead of Nicchio to finish this final trial race of the Palio of the Assumption of the Virgin. There we go. Appena, barely we see that Giraffa has come around. The other contradas didn't even complete 2 laps, but no problem there. Really just to give the horses here a taste of the turf, of the Tufo, I beg your pardon. And now you see the Barbareschi wearing their caps and the ribbons with the colors of their contrada. The Barbareschi, remember, take care of the horses and will now take the horses and the jockey back to the stable. The horses will be cooled down and washed, and now the long wait begins. Thank you so much for following us here. Let's just get one more look at the mossa, which was a good start. You see how Lupa comes around, the rincorsa comes around, the front rope drops and the horses go. Civetta got a good start, as did Giraffa and Leocorno and Drago. There we go again, a nice view as the rope drops. Leocorno also got a good start, I have to say. Leocorno and Civetta, but you can see Leocorno right away easing up on the reins, not wanting to push the horse too much here. So this was a very slow, bit of tension, shall we say, with those 3 false starts, but this one was a clean mossa, a good start, and all horses at least got a taste of the Tuffo before the Palio of the Assumption of the Virgin, which will start tonight at around 7 o'clock. But again, times in the Palio are always approximate because who knows how many false starts there will be tonight. Thank you from Palio Live. Thank you for following us. Thank you to our sponsors, Siena Motori, and thank you to Consorzio per la Tutela del Palio for allowing us to broadcast these images.